Hold up.
So SMU, this is Andy. He is from ContentCal. A few months back, we had Rose Guthrie actually introduce us to him, and we've kind of been working with him ever since. So Andy, if you want to take it from here.
Perfect. Hey, hey everyone. Tiny little bit of background. As Kellyanne already mentioned. I'm Andy, and I'm one of the co-founders of a company called ContentCal. We're a London-based. Maybe you call us still a startup. We're about 2 years old, but essentially we started life as a social media agency, and we were always requested by our clients to run like approval processes. Hey Kim. We're going to be speaking tomorrow. So we started life as a social media agency, and all of our clients wanted approvals, right? Certainly in the first, maybe 3 to 6 months before you kind of built up that foundation of trust. So in doing that, we were putting together our content calendars and approval processes. We're running them on a mix of Google Sheets or spreadsheets or something like that. Sometimes we're using Trello for some clients. Essentially, as our agency grew to about 15 staff, it was killing us. We would lose about 3 hours per week per client. So this was about 2.5 years ago. And we basically came to the conclusion that unless we can figure out the best workflow for approvals, we're never going to grow this agency. So the net result of that is that we tried to find a solution. We tried numerous, as I already said. So that the result was we went to build our own solution to it. So 2 years ago, we built ContentCal. And so I'm going to share my screen in a second, and we'll kind of go through some of the ways it works and how to set up approval flows and that kind of thing. So Kellyanne, I don't know if you want to run Q&A and open up at the end of this as well for questions, or are we going to just do live questions in the chat? What do you think?
This is your class, so whatever you want to do, whatever you feel is right.
Love it. Perfect. So I kind of like running these in an interactive way. So we'll dive into it, and feel free to just type through on the chat, and I'll kind of answer as I go. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So we'll dive into ContentCal here. Perfect. So let's go onto the homepage so everyone can see this. So this was the result of what we built about 2 years ago. So essentially the idea of what we built was to tie in 4 different things, which is obviously the publishing of social media. But more importantly than that was all of the workflow around that. So that means team collaboration. So having clients being able to share ideas and comments, all of the approval workflow processes. So, we could customize that per client, and all of the planning functionality as well. So we could kind of plan all of the things we wanted to do for our campaigns and strategies, and essentially foster collaboration. So as I said, 2 years ago, and we used this tool to start winning business for our agency, because ultimately when we would go pitch to our clients or prospect clients, they wanted to see the way that, why would they work with the small agency as opposed to the bigger agencies that they've been working before? And really it's all down to how well you can structure yourselves, give clients transparency, and give the clients the feeling of control when, they take a big risk, clients do, when they say, okay, someone else is going to manage my social media content. So we wanted to make that as painless as possible. So we're going to have a quick kind of run through of ContentCal. We'll dive into the approval processes in particular, obviously, which is the title of the class, but we can certainly dive into other aspects as required anyway, and if relevant. So essentially here, just to give you a very high level, what we're looking at is currently the week view of one particular client. So if I show you here, this calendar, this Charm Coffee calendar. So this is one of our clients. And if we drop down here we have all of our clients that are on separate calendars. Goes without saying that each of those calendars have their own approval flows, have their own access roles. So obviously no other client can see what other clients that you're working with. So as we scroll down, the first thing you'll notice is the color coding structure. So each of these tiles represents a post. And because we're simple, we're social media people, and we just wanted to lay out in the most kind of beautifully simple way, because we're not technologists, we spent our lives doing social media content. So we basically wanted to replicate what we did, but simpler. So here, each of these tiles represents an individual post. So the first thing you'll notice is that some of these tiles are in green, some are in this kind of yellowy orange color. So that basically relates to an approval flow. Anything is green, that's green, is ready to go out. Anything, and it will be pushed at that date and time. And anything that's orange is pending approval. So if we click into any post here, we can see at the top, we've got a bit of a timeline and a progress bar that tells us where it's sat with on that approval journey. And we'll talk about how to set them up and how to structure them. And of course, we can ask any questions when we dive into that. But as we've clicked on this post, we can see a couple other things. So as we scroll down, we can see the text of the post and our short links here. We can preview a content on platforms, so we see exactly what it looks like. And ultimately, we can also tag this content. So we can organize it into what we call content themes or content buckets, essentially categorize them. So we know that we've got a nice visual balanced mix of content. So have we got too much breakfast promo versus, thoughts or inspiration content? And as you see here, everything's kind of drag and drop to move it around and reschedule it. So what we're going to do now, let's dive in and show you how you could create a calendar and approval process for yourself using something like ContentCal. So first things first, we're going to dive into this manage calendars piece. We're going to go ahead and click new calendar. And here we're just going to call this example. So you would give this calendar your client name, or you'd probably use one for your own social content as well. Then here we'll select the networks that we want to publish to. So these are the ones that ContentCal has integration to. Pinterest and Google Plus is on its way very soon. But ultimately, these are the four that we publish to today. Then you have the ability to create custom planning only channels. So this isn't for everyone, but some people want to use this kind of tool as a full editorial calendar. So mapping out blog content, mapping out what's happening on maybe YouTube or press releases, that kind of thing. So naturally that doesn't publish, but it's a way to, to kind of create the visualization, to map it alongside your social content and still run all the approvals and collaboration as required. So let's just kind of put one in for blog and maybe one for press releases. Cool. So as we scroll down, we've got the team access area. And as I said before, each calendar you can give to certain individuals. So your client, or maybe if you're working in a team, maybe you have other kind of freelancers working with you, you can essentially choose who you want to give access to and assign them a certain role as well. So this role is the thing that relates to the approval scheme. Now, all we're going to do here is go ahead and click Edit Approval Scheme. So this will allow you to start structuring an approval scheme at a client level. So as I said before, like each individual calendar for your client can have a different approval flow. So you've got 4 steps to play with and 4 different roles. So content creator, first, second, and third approver. Really, really simple. So essentially, whoever's going to be writing the content, funnily enough, and creating it will be the content creator. You don't need to tie them into the approval flow because the content creator is always the one that goes first. So all you need to now do is start thinking about, in an ideal world for this client, how would I like the approval flow to work? So for a lot of our agency customers, they will have someone internally within the agency that creates the content. They then approve it firstly in the agency, and then they send it on to their client for approval. And they might have a couple of people at the client side wanting to approve content as well. So let's kind of make something fairly simple for the purpose of this demo. So we're going to start with a content creator, obviously, and we're going to have first step, which is our first approver. So let's just say we want to do kind of like the quality checks internally within our agency first. And then we're going to have step 2, which is going to be the second approver, the manager in this case. So you can give multiple people these roles as well, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So we've got a simple 3-step approval flow, so from content creator through to first approver, then second approver, and the moment that gets approved, it will get published. So we're going to show you how that looks in a sec. So final thing, those categories, those content themes that we were talking about before, so you can tag and organize your content. So here's your themes, and you can make them whatever you want. So I'm going to make some generic ones, product or news or, thoughts, leadership. There we go. And just give those categories a color and save changes. But as simply as that, that's all it takes to spin up a brand new calendar. And let's look at this new example calendar that we've created. All right, so here we've got our publishing channels, and here we've got our planning only channels that we've created as well. You can create as many of these as you like. So first things first, go ahead and connect this to your social profiles. So click here and go ahead and connect them to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also integrate Bitly as well if you want to kind of shorten links and do those kind of things. So feel free to connect that. But ultimately, let's kind of show you how that flow would work. So let's start as a content creator. You wouldn't need this drop down here. I'm only showing you this because we're on the kind of demo scenario here so you can get a feel. So let's create some content for today. All we do is click into the calendar to create a post, choose the networks that you want to publish this content to. So you can choose all 4. We also have a character count here because we selected Twitter. So let's just call this new post. We can choose our category as we did before. We can choose multiple if we wanted to as well. Add our media, videos, images, or GIFs. So let's just go ahead and do that. See if we've got anything. There we go. Let's throw that on. And then go ahead and hit schedule. So there we go. We've created that post across 4 different channels. You might want to create some more network specific tweaks. Maybe if you want to add a couple of hashtags on Twitter, for example. So you can go in and make your kind of network specific amendments as well. So just a nice way of creating the same post 4 times, duplicating it, but still having the flexibility to tweak them individually. So we're ready now because we've kind of created some content. We're ready to send it up the chain to the first approver in line with the approval flow that we set. And if we click into any post, we can see that's currently now going to be waiting on the first approver. So what we need to do is give them a notification. So we click actions, and we can either select individual posts to send for approval, or we could just select them all by pressing that button. So that's going to select everyone, every post rather. And here on the left-hand side will be anyone that has that first approver role. So at this point, we might think, actually, we're missing someone that needs to be in that first approver chain. So what we will do is go into our settings here and just kind of look at our team setup. So we're going into the team. We can invite as many people as we want to just through the add new user button. And when you invite an individual, you have the ability to do 3 things. You can give them a certain role. So we want to make sure Alex is going to be a first approver here. We want to make sure he has access to the right calendar, so example, and we want to make sure that he has the correct notifications. So he wants to get notified if a comment's been left and when content's been sent for approval. So let's go ahead and we'll save that. And now we're ready just to go back to our content here in the top left. And let's go ahead, click actions. And what we're going to do is send the week for approval. And now we've got all of the people that are on our first approver list on the left-hand side, ready to send it over. So you can have multiple people in that approval slot. So over that goes. The team gets notified that content's waiting approval. And what happens when that first approver logs in, they're going to get a notification saying they've got 4 posts waiting approval. They'll click that and they'll be taken straight to this calendar view. So within the calendar view, they've got a few choices. So they could go ahead and approve content directly. So you see the tick box appears or disappears rather. And if we click in the post, we can see that's advanced upper stage. That individual can also leave comments on the post. So here people could suggest that changes are needed. So rather than getting emails back and forth about changes that are needed on certain posts, we were drowning under emails 2 years ago when we were just running, 3 years ago when we were running the agency. So here anyone can kind of leave their comments in the context of the post itself, leave any comments. We can see who's originally created the post as well, so we know who to target those comments to. And also for clients and just the ease of approval, certainly when you get lots of content going on in the calendar and going on in the week view, and we can look at this over a month as well if we wanted to. when we've got lots of content to approve, sometimes the calendar view isn't as easy as it could be. So calendar view is wonderful for giving you a nice visualization of what content's going out. But the editor view here produces a list view. It's a to-do list, essentially, of anything that's still waiting approval. So from here, you could go in and you could, preview the post on platform, make sure it looks okay. And you could be like, okay, fine, that's all good, approved, approved, approved. So what we're left with now is all of that content's now advanced. So what we now need to do is send it to the next person in that approval journey. So once again, whoever is the first approver is now going to send it up the chain. So click actions, send week for approval, which selects them all. Select any individual who's in the second approver slot. Content gets sent to them. I'm sure you're probably getting the hang of this by now. And then when the second approver logs in, because they'll have that role automatically, they can go ahead, look at all the content that's waiting approval. They can use some filter buttons as well, because they might have been notified that a comment's been left on a post. So they can use the filter button to look at things just to simplify the calendar view. So they could look at the stuff that's just received comments, which is just this one. And they might want to look at the stuff that's only on Facebook. Certainly helps when you have a busy calendar. But let's flick it back to all content. Go back to the editor view. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and fire through the approvals. And at the outset of that, what we now have is all of this content that's now gone green. It's scheduled, it's ready to go. So that's going to go out at that date and time. You don't need to do anything else. So what we've done there over the last 5 minutes or so is create a brand new calendar, choose the networks we want to publish to. We've created custom planning channels if we needed them. We've created a custom approval flow for a client. And we've also given it some category tags so we can organize the content. So that's a lot of talking from me. So I've seen a few chats come in. So what I'm going to do is just have a kind of quick check through some of those. See if there's anything else. So good question from Ashley. Sorry, just going through these questions. Sorry if I go a bit quiet. So clients can do approval as well? Absolutely. So there's no cost to bring clients into this platform. So invite who you want and they will not see all the rest of the other schedule. Perfect. Kim, I think I might have answered your question already about where you go to add approvers and add categories, but let me know if you want me to go over that. Perfect. Now another question from Ashley. Yeah, it's a really good one. So Ashley asks, does that mean we can pre-schedule a lot of content, say for 1 month, but only let clients review it for the content for the approval for only a week's worth of content, and every week only approve 1 week, giving full month access? Perfect. So, and then will there be future? So there's 3 questions here. So let's answer the first one, which is, can you pre-schedule a lot of content? Can you schedule a month, but only let clients review it for the week's worth of content? Great question. So, and I'll come to your other ones in a second. So you can pre-schedule as much as you want, and it's up to you as to what content you want your clients to go ahead and approve. So let's take one particular scenario. Say you wanted to kind of plan out a month's worth of content, but only get your client to approve the upcoming week. The way you would do that, so to schedule, it would work in exactly the same way. Let's say for this week, we would go ahead and create the content just as we've been doing for the last kind of 10 minutes or so. So creating the post, sending them through the approval flow. However, when you want to make content and have it exempt from the approval flow for now and exempt from your clients, what you need is a tool called the Placeholder. So I'll just show you this. I'll just put a post in for Friday. I won't go into next month's. But essentially, what you can do is, I'm just going to call this new post and click add as placeholder and click save. These placeholders you can categorize as well using these category tags as well that we put in earlier. You can save and they appear in blue. So that's important because no post in blue is going through the approval flow and it's never getting published to channels. This is a great way of you kind of creating draft content a month in advance, but not actually sending it to your clients to approve yet. So this is a great way if you've maybe got some more kind of high level plans that you haven't quite finished creating the copy, you don't really want your clients to comment on and approve yet. So the placeholder is perfect for that. So hopefully that answers that question, but ultimately otherwise you could schedule as long as far in ahead as you want, and then you can, you know, send as much content to your client to approve as you want to. But placeholder is really good if you want to create content in here without sharing it with your client necessarily for them to approve. Your second question, Ashley, which is, will there be in future adding Pinterest? Yes, absolutely. Can't give an ETA. It's probably going to be late this year, probably November, December time, I would expect. But if you want to plan Pinterest stuff, you could use the planning channels for here. And your second question, which is, or third question, each platform, how many social accounts can you have? So each calendar, you can have one Facebook, one Twitter, one Instagram, one LinkedIn for now. We're about to make an update to this in the next 3 weeks, actually, 4 weeks, I think, where you'll be able to add multiple, because we see some people having, you know, a Facebook page and a Facebook group still related to the same client. So we're going to allow you to add multiple Facebook channels here. But currently it's one of each until we do the update in about a month's time. Perfect. So I'm going to carry on through. I'm just going to answer the rest of these questions as they come in before we continue. So Elisa, will WordPress blog posts be added in the future? Been thinking about that. I'm not entirely sure. Yes, we're still kind of scoping out whether we do that, because there's a whole, it takes this product in quite a different direction if we do. So right now we'll probably use the kind of planning channels for that. But if you sign up to our newsletter, you'll keep, you know, we're going to keep you posted on all of our updates and the things that we've got going on. Another question from Elisa. Can an editor or first approval plan out posts and then they're edited by the content writer to establish a schedule of posts? Let me think about that. Can an editor or first approver plan out the posts and then edited by the content writer? You could absolutely do that, because anyone that has access to this has the ability to edit content. So anyone can go ahead, click into a post and make edits to this. So you can make those changes. But one thing that's kind of useful here is this activity section, because here, this allows you to track every approval, every change, and every amendment. So that can be quite useful as well, especially if you've got lots of people working on it, so you can see who's approved the content, who's made changes, and what those changes were. And then in each of these, so basically in a short answer to your question, Elisa, yes, you can. So you can structure that approval process and how you want to collaborate in the way that you want. What I showed you is a very kind of linear flow from a content writer pushes it to a first approver to a second approver. But ultimately, if people want to kind of edit, you want to kind of create draft posts, have an editor, you know, amend them or build out the posts and then approve them, you can do however you want, basically. Perfect. All right. So lots of questions coming. This is great. Yes. So Ashley, your kind of follow-up question. So I suggest every time you create future content do a draft first, and then maybe only confirm the draft post 1 week worth of content ahead so we can assign content for review. So basically Ashley's asking whether I would suggest that you kind of create everything via placeholders, so as drafts, and only when you're ready have developed the content further. So we've got this as draft. So maybe we want to, you know, maybe now we've created the content and now we want to go ahead and remove the placeholder tick. So when we do that, we can then schedule it and then we can start sending that content for approval. So it's not something I would necessarily recommend over another way. It's just the way you want to work. So do you work better when you draft stuff first and then go back and develop the content further? Then doing a placeholder first would work best for you. But if you typically go in and create a week's or a month's worth of actual content at a time, then it's probably just easier just to go ahead and create a post directly and only send for approval, you know, the batch of content you want. However, a good point Ashley makes really is that if you wanted to create lots of content but have it separate from the approval flow, then Placeholder is the thing for you. Victoria, is there a limit on how many calendars you can have at one time? Absolutely not. We have some clients with some customers or agency clients with over 170 clients in it, which is mad, but they're there. So for people who join ContentCal, will there be a platform users go to and place for suggestions, feedback, troubleshoots? So basically for anyone who's part of ContentCal, where can our customers go to make suggestions, to troubleshoot and all that stuff? So there's two answers to this. So lots of questions, Ashley, I love it. So you've got one thing, and I don't know if you can see that in the bottom right. Let me move this Zoom window. Here you've got live chat. So take any suggestions, any troubleshooting, whatever, in live chat, we answer it. And for anyone that wants kind of updates or whatever, any subscriber of our product gets our kind of monthly newsletter of feature releases. And we often call out our customers who have suggested certain feature improvements or, you know, brand new features. We'll call them out in that kind of like monthly newsletter and say, thanks to X for this suggestion, we've just built this in. So, and then the third piece, we've got, I know you're all part of a Facebook group as well. We've got a Facebook group as well for our customers where everyone kind of shares best practice of content planning and that kind of stuff. So that kind of thing. So yeah, Ashley, I totally agree. So basically software improves the more people that actually care and give really valuable feedback. So lots of places for that. Essentially the live chat is the best place for it. But if you want to feel part of a community, we've got a Facebook group that's called Content Planning. And you know, that's where our customers are constantly kind of chatting to each other. Okay, so Jackie, great question. What kind of analytics are available? So yeah, so skipping forward, here's our analytics. Let me just go onto the ContentCal one on my demo account. So analytics this is a brand new release for us, so it's still fairly lightweight. So one thing I would say is that you've got analytics across all, you know, 4 platforms that you can publish to. Right now, you've got page level analytics and post level analytics. I'm not going to speak too much about the page level analytics because this is kind of like a really early release and it's about to get a whole lot better in about 3 weeks time. So maybe in about a month's time, depending on how much interest there is in this product, I can go and show you all of the new things that are about to release in a month. Anyway, the thing that's going to be most useful right now is going to be the post analytics. So here, if we look at Facebook over the last 30 days, you've got some basic level, high level stats. I would possibly use Facebook natively still for that. And I've got a couple of other analytics tools that we use. But the post level analytics is where it gets really interesting because here we can see the unique metrics underneath each individual post. We can pull out our top performing content. So this one's performed well over the last 30 days, outperformed the rest of the content. And what we can do here, and I haven't shown you this feature yet, is reuse this content. So we can reuse that content and push that into our calendar. Let's push that into our new example calendar. And we're going to push that for today and just go ahead and hit schedule. So that way, what we've done, we've kind of completed the cycle because you see that post is now ready to go in the approval flow in our new client calendar. So we've completed the cycle. You plan great content, you approve it, so brand standards are met, your clients are happy, you send that content out, or ContentCal does for you, and then the analytics helps you understand your top performing content so that you can go ahead, reshare that back into your calendar, make tweaks, and essentially continually raise the bar of your content. So hopefully that answers the question there, Jackie. Cool. Thanks, Ashley. So, Elisa, in the new Facebook update, will you cater for Facebook locations, mother and child pages? Love that question. So right now we don't, but 100% that is absolutely what we're working on right now. Cool. Ashley said, you mentioned there's Bitly. How's it going to help with content links? I didn't, to be honest, I glossed over it. So let's go into it. So if you want to integrate Bitly, so we're going to hit manage connections in the top right, which allows you to connect your channels. Let's go ahead, hit Bitly. Let's connect it. So you'll be able to create a free account through Bitly as well here, because Bitly's basically free anyway. They give so much away on the free platform, you wouldn't need another one. So I've just gone ahead and connected my Bitly account, and just click confirm, we're all done. Let's go find a link. Let's use this TechCrunch article here and create a post. So you'll notice that it's immediately shortened that link. So that's all good. So that looks a lot nicer. Something else we added last week, actually, you're able to edit link previews for verified Facebook pages. So something that obviously got removed about, when was it? About 6 months ago, actually about 8 months ago now. Facebook obviously stopped you from editing link previews. Now they brought it back with verified pages, and now we can support that through our app as well. So if you want to go ahead and change, change whatever you want for link preview, you can go ahead and write stuff. We can go ahead and change the content as well to completely customize that link preview as well. And on Facebook, you don't even need that link if you don't want to. So to really clean up the post, and we just go ahead and hit schedule. So you can see now, if we click on that, we still got link preview, even though we've hidden the link. We can preview the post on platform, so we see exactly what it's going to look like. So we've completely customized the URL, and we've still got the call to action there. So nice way, and obviously previewing it really helps you make sure that you've made the right tweaks and that it looks as expected. So hopefully that answers the question on the Bitly thing. Yeah, thanks so much for your comments, Ashley. Love it. Elisa, can you boost Facebook posts and do Facebook ads through the platform? Oh my word, I wish we could. It would make this the most killer tool imaginable. It's very hard to work with Facebook in terms of their publishing platform, their ads platform rather. And to be honest, the moment we built something in ContentCal, Facebook would probably change it about 3 seconds later. So sadly not, but it is a big thing for us as to how we can make boosting posts simple and do a link between ContentCal and Facebook, just so that you can track everything in one place. So basically watch this space on that. That's probably going to be towards the real back end of this year. What else do we have here? Oh, this is the most questions I've had on a class for a while, so love it. Let's have a look. Elisa, can you compile automatic PDF reports to send to clients with the analytics? You've heard me say 1 month's time quite a lot. Basically, I think what might be quite good, because massive release alert in July. So maybe it's anyway, if you want to sign up to the product for free for now, you're going to get announcements that in July we've got a massive product update, which is going to include PDF reports, which you can send directly to clients. Been a big bit of feedback. Cool. Kim, I'm going to go into how to add approvers and go into the back end to create categories. Let's do that now. Cool. Right. Right. Let's go ahead. Let's answer Kim, your question. So Kim's question is, how do you add approvers and add categories? So it's done in 2 areas. So one, we're going to go into, let's do it here. So we're going to click settings. This is going to take you into all of your, the back end bit. You're going to go calendars. And here you can just edit by any calendar. Let's edit by example here. And if we scroll down, this is where we set the approval scheme, as we did earlier. And this is where we create our categories. And then, test, give it another category. Just remember to tick this, show your categories in calendar view. Just make sure you do that. And then once you save changes, if we go back to example, we will now see when we're creating posts, or if we're going back to posts, we'll see that new category tag we added here. So you can just go and update that. Now, adding approvers. So we're going to go to settings again. We're going to go to team. And here we add new users. Add as many people as you like. Just make sure you're giving them access to the correct calendar. And when you've given these people access, all you need to do is make sure that their role corresponds with the approval flow that you set. So in the example calendar that we've been talking about, we've got first approvers and second approvers. So I want to make sure Alex is a first approver, has access to example calendar and has the right notifications. And then I want to check that Danny here has second approver status because she's the client. I'll make sure she only can access example and she's got these notifications on. So essentially that is then our total approval system set, which now means that, when we're sending, here we are as a content creator, when we're sending content for approval. So I'm just going to select this post for approval. This person, Alex, is first approver. Content gets sent to him. And when Alex approves as a first approver, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and approve it. Then it's going to send it on to the client here, select for approval, click the post you want to send. And here we've just added Danny to this calendar and added Danny as a second approver. So that gets sent to Danny and then Danny will be able to log in and can see the content waiting approval, can use the filter buttons to filter out content as waiting approval, which slims down the calendar to just that, or can just look at the editor view, which displays it in the list view and just go ahead and approve it. So hopefully, Kim, that answers your questions on that one. Cool. More. Oh, lots of questions. Let's try and keep up with them. So, ContentCal available via phone, only desktop at the moment. Instagram publishing is through our iOS app. Direct publishing isn't available, but we're working on it right now. So that might answer another one. So will there be in future planning to have content suggestions, almost like post planner kind of suggestions? Yes, absolutely. That's definitely in our roadmap. Plan to integrate with Canva so we can create inside directly from scheduling a post? Potentially, but we are looking at more integrations actually, so that would be cool. So yeah, Kim made a similar suggestion about like content idea areas. So let's take the concept of content ideas and the ways in which that we can start planning a little bit. So today we can't bring in feeds like a post planner or something, but very soon, in a month, we will be able to. So, however, what you can do, there's 3 planning tools which you might find kind of useful. First one on the left-hand side is what we call the pin board. Now, this can be really useful for team collaboration. So when we were doing social back at the agency, my desktop would be covered in like sticky notes of ideas I had. I would have like notes on my iPhone. But so this basically pin board on the left-hand side is exactly that. It's a place for any new ideas you have, any interesting links you find, basically anything you just don't know what to do with yet, but you know it's a good idea. So we're just going to go ahead and save to notes. So what we did was press new post here and put in whatever we want and then just click add as placeholder. Oh, not add as placeholder, just save to notes. Okay, so we pin that over here. That's all searchable and it's really nice, especially if you have like clients and team members involved with this, really nice to kind of foster collaboration to stop clients slacking you or sending you emails to say, oh, I've got a new idea or whatever. So I know some clients like to be a little more hands-on. Cool. So for those ideas that you might have, you can then go ahead and go, actually, I think we can run with that idea on Saturday 16th. So just drag that idea into the calendar, go ahead, develop that content further, add your tags and your media, and then you can go ahead and send that through the approval flow. So just a nice kind of repository for your ideas. Then one of the other planning tools here, and I'm going to jump onto another calendar to show this, is the campaign manager that lives at the top. I'm just going to flick back a couple of weeks. And it also does get me thinking as well, is that any content you create, and you can create content as far out as you like, 3 years out if you ever wanted to, you can create content as far out as you like. And you can also go back forever. So that means that no content's ever deleted. It becomes your evolving content library. So which is perfect when you put so much investment in creating content that you can always see it and repurpose it. Anyway, so outside of the kind of pin board that we see on the left-hand side for all your ideas, you've got something called the campaign manager, really useful for 2 things, kind of mapping out your overriding objectives. So like we're planning for this grand opening of this coffee shop. So we can map that campaign right at the top here to make sure we've got that, it's in our calendar to make sure that our social content is meeting the objectives there. And then also, if we click in that campaign, we can also use that as an asset library. So we've stored our videos here and our images, and this is a great place for clients as well to drop in their assets if they have them. We had a massive problem when we were an agency of like clients would send us like Google Drive folders, attachments, transfer links. It's the perfect place to have everything centralized on one calendar. And this whole concept of centralization is one that we're really focused on. So the concept of integration and bringing in feeds and connecting ContentCal to other tools is one that we're really keen on, because we don't want to build everything. We want people to bring in the tools that they use and use ContentCal as a central point to do all the kind of workflow, collaboration, and the creation, and obviously publishing. So that's the campaign manager, which can be quite useful. And to create campaigns, really simple. Just click in the top row of the calendar, and let's just say we want to create a brand new campaign. Let's call it. So create a campaign, choose the dates the campaign is going to run, between 31st of May and 14th. Choose any media. We can use the campaign as a place to kind of store ideas, maybe a brief. We've got comments as well, so our clients can collaborate if they're hands-on. Create the campaign. All of those campaigns live in this campaign section. So now we've covered all four of the options here. It's in chronological order, so all of your campaigns are categorized here. But most importantly, where you spend 95% of your time is in this content section. And in content here, we can now see our Rachel Pedersen campaign is now running across the top of the screen. So now we've planned our content, we've got our pinboard, we've got our ideas here, we've got our campaigns running, and we might have any placeholders to maybe, the placeholders that we spoke about earlier, which is great for maybe flagging out national days and basically not missing content opportunities. So we can use those placeholders as reminders like that. And then what we can do is take a step back into the month view. So we can see how many posts are going out in each day, or the campaigns we have running. We can see our kind of category tags to make sure we've got a balanced mix of content. So we really feel like we're absolutely over our social media content plan, and everything is meeting spec and meeting the brief from a client. So went off on a bit of a tangent there, but hopefully that made sense. Okay. So Elisa, what's the workflow at the moment for boosting posts if scheduled on ContentCal? Can you schedule boosts somehow, even from Facebook platforms? So you can't schedule boosts really. All I would suggest that you could do in this instance, if you want to boost content that's going out organically. So you've got two ways of looking at this. So let's just flick back to the week view. So you might know content you want to boost right away. So we might want to go ahead and take this, let's take this post on Monday the 4th, right? Maybe we know we want to boost this at the point that's going to be scheduled. So what we could do is write a little channel note for ourselves. Whatever. So we could put like a little, a notification for us that we're going to be boosting that post. So we could use the channel notes to create a little reminder. So, and then you could go ahead, you might want to then go ahead and schedule that natively. So you wouldn't have to necessarily schedule that directly through ContentCal. You could move it to this stage, which is called move to cancelled, which just draws a line through it, which means it's not going to schedule, but ultimately it stays in your calendar. So you're actually going to be pasting that natively maybe. And then you can obviously boost it directly on Facebook. Or the second workflow could be dive into analytics, look at your top performing content as we saw before. So look at our top performing over the last week. Find that content on Facebook, because obviously when it went out, and then put a boost behind that, because if it performed well organically, it's safe to say it's going to perform well when you put the budget behind it. Cool. So let's have a look at any other questions. So Kim asks, so clients can see the pinboard. Yes, everyone who has access to this can. So this is a place, basically, if you, some clients don't care and they just don't add anything there, but some clients are like, really like, even though they want someone else to do it for them, they still like to be able to feel like they're contributing and just sending ideas. So absolutely, your clients can contribute to that if they want to. And then, so you can't assign, so Kim's question is basically, can everyone see the pinboard or can you control who sees the pinboard? Essentially, it's there for everyone. So anything you put in there and share with your clients is a really good point. So you might want to, be mindful of that or share that. So up to you. And then the second question from Kim, can you organize photos, videos via folders? Currently, the way to do folders is through these campaign folders. So you can create as many as you like for certain batches of images. So you don't necessarily need to use it for a certain campaign. You could just have set up a folder in the same way that I did before and have set folders for, in the context of this, pictures of coffee mugs, whatever. So yes. So basically you could do it like that, but you can't organize it any more than just have like certain campaign folders if you want to, and have as many of them. Kim, can clients see our channel notes? Yes. So basically with ContentCal as it stands today, if you invite clients can see everything that's going on. It's a collaborative platform. Clients can see everything. We are, however, in our next release for a month, I'm fairly sure you've all got that date in your heads now, the amount of times I've mentioned it. We're doing a client access role, which means clients can only see the content that's waiting their approval, nothing else. So it's your choice whether you want to give people a full access role or client access role. But I don't want to go too deep in that because it's not available yet. I'd rather we consider ContentCal today, but in a month, there's going to be a lot more features around that. Cool. So Ashley, love your question. Is there a special package for SMU members? Taking my luck here and crossing fingers. That's fine, because I hadn't actually formally agreed anything with Rachel as yet, but yes, let's do that. So yeah, more than happy to take 15% off any plans. So yeah, Jackie, love that. Yeah, so let's take 15% off any of our published plans. So that basically means irrespective whether you take a monthly or annual plan, you'll get annual plans are just discounted 20% anyway, and that's another 15% discount on that. Cool. So yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, feel free to share away because naturally we're obviously a UK company and it's expanding quite quickly. So yeah, as much share the love basically. So yeah, 15% off for you. So that's all good. Pricing in dollars. Sorry, the pricing page is gonna get updated very, very soon. But essentially, let's look at the pricing plans very quickly. And let's do this. So let's look at the monthly ones because you can just basically take 20% off whatever I'm going to say. So bronze is $26. Silver is, so bronze is one user and 3 calendars. So which is great if you're a small agency working with clients, but don't necessarily need your clients to be in the platform. But you can add extra users. You've got a silver plan, which I think that's going to equate to about $70 per month, about $72 per month, which is 10 users and 5 calendars. I'm also happy, however, for SMU members, if you want to change this up a little bit. So if you wanted 2 users and 2 calendars, go ahead and do that. Essentially work within the numbers. So if you want to work within 4, you want to work within 15. So in silver, you might want 10 calendars and only 5 users. Up to you. And then in gold, that ends up being $170. So that's the one where you've got, that's obviously massive. You've got dedicated success manager and support as you would expect. So three things. So $26, $72, And this one, I think it's about $170. And yeah, it probably might be worth chucking that into a calculator because I'm doing that off the top of my head based on today's exchange rate. But ultimately, yeah, we can figure that out. So, so did I confuse Ashley with like 20% add-on? So you can save if you pay annually, you save 20% on the monthly plan. And that all I was saying is that even though you save 20% on the monthly plan paying annually, SMU members will get another 15% off that. Cool. So Jackie, is a calendar per platform? So a calendar is per client. So each calendar comes with one Facebook, one Twitter, one Instagram, one LinkedIn, and as many custom channels as you please, and all of the features that I've showed you today. So all of the plans contain all of the features that I showed you today. Nothing's different. The only thing that differs is the amount of users or calendars. Kim, you will be charged in dollars. So even though it says in GBP right now, our billing platform will charge you in dollars, so you won't take a fee. We're the ones that cover the fee for the foreign exchange rates, basically, because we process everything in pounds, but we'll bill you in dollars. So you pay off a card, you get there's no difference for you, but ultimately, it is what it is. Cool. That is it. I had a question from one that I didn't answer. Kevin Parr, how does this differ from Facebook scheduling or other platforms? So I'm not too sure if you were here from the start, but ultimately, if you want to do social media for clients, you're going to need something that allows you to plan, create strategies, to do approvals, to visualize content, and to do the publishing and the analytics. So Facebook scheduling natively does publishing and scheduling, but none of the other stuff. So you wouldn't be able to plan this, you wouldn't be able to create ideas and that kind of thing. And then compared to Hootsuite or Buffer or Post Planner, insert another 6,000 different companies that do different permutations of social media scheduling. The main difference, and I'm only going to quote our clients because I'm obviously biased, but the main difference here is that our clients can tell that this is built by social media people for social media people because it works in a simple way. It's stupidly easy to use. It's incredibly visual. It's designed to work in the way that social media people work, especially agencies. So essentially it just should feel natural and intuitive. And that's the difference really. Feature-wise, you compare us like-for-like features against Hootsuite and Buffer. It's pretty much comes up. It's a very much of a likeness. But the only thing that's going to change people's opinions and have people move to ContentCal is the way it feels to use. And this is a product that people use every day, every hour of every day. So people tend to favor a platform that they enjoy using from a technical standpoint. Cool. So Ashley, do we email you with a discount code or wait, there's a special SMU link? So yeah, thanks for your answer as well there, Kim. Basically, let me put in my email address. This is me. Actually, I sent that to you, Kim, privately. I'm going to send it to everyone. There you go, send to everyone. Yeah, Kim, you've already got my email address. Cool. So you've now got my email address. Basically, what you'll need to do, feel free to go ahead and sign up. And what you can do is, you can get 15% discount on any plan, annual or monthly. Basically, email me. And then we can sort it out. So 15% on any plan that you see. So essentially, all you're going to need to do is sign up so you can create your own calendar straight away. And you're good to go. So that's going to throw you into a trial account. So to sign up now and just get the discount, just email me directly. And then what I'll do, I will send you the link, which will just be a payment link. with a 15% discount for you. And yeah, and then what will happen, I'll unlimit your account straight away and you're good to go. So whether you want to pay annually or monthly, I don't mind. It's entirely up to you. Yeah, I just hope you love it as much as we do. And that probably is enough of me talking, I reckon. So Kellyanne, if you're still there, I'm going to stop sharing.
Yes, I'm still here. Thank you so much, Andy. This has been awesome. The discount that you're offering to SMU is incredible, and thank you so much for your time today.
No worries at all. No worries. So anyone needs anything, just drop me an email, and of course, I'll throw in your question in live chat, and we can sort that out. But thank you all so much for taking some time out of your day. Massively appreciated.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Andy.
Wonderful. Take care. Bye-bye.